Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you guys for tuning into another episode of The Power of Storytelling. Today we have Virgie Cruz on with us. Virgie is a client success manager for Preqin. Preqin is a data provider for private capital firms. If you guys do enjoy this conversation, make sure to leave a like and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. Let's get into the conversation. If you just wanted to go ahead and introduce yourself and then kind of talk about what you do right now, and then we'll kind of just get into conversation.
Of course. So I'm Virgie Cruz. I currently do client success for a data provider company, so a tech company kind of. But my major is international business. I've also, you know, like a couple of years ago, I had a business as well when I was like 20. So yeah, I've been all over the place a little bit when it comes to different industries.
Nice, awesome. How did you get into this industry, like the tech industry? How did you get it with this company?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it was a little hard because, of course, they want you to have experience in the industry, of course. But I guess so. My first job right after college was Citibank. So I was in finance. I think it was a little related. So I think that really helped me to, just go. Well, my previous job was in the beauty industry, so it was a lot different.
Mhm.
But I guess the experience in at Citibank really helped me to get this job.
Nice. I like that you say that because, a lot of people, especially if they're coming out of college or if they're just trying to find a job in a certain industry, they feel like if they don't have experience, they don't even try. But obviously, with this example, it wasn't direct experience. But if you are able to talk about how your previous experience can relate to the employer or to the company, that's kind of all they really worry about, and it's all about being coachable at that point, too. So just a good sign to not get discouraged of running away from those. Even if you really want to work there, don't worry if you don't have any experience, just try to do it anyways. It's awesome. uh,
Exactly. Yeah. Like don't feel afraid, I would say, to just try new things. Because I feel like the most important things is the core values and the experience and the passion that you put into everything you do. So it doesn't matter if it's a different industry, you can definitely succeed on anything you do.
that's awesome. Yeah, those core values, like what are some of those, we can kind of talk about that too. What are some of those core values that you have that you feel like translate over to any business, and what do you believe that most people are looking for?
Yeah, I would say first of all, I'm like customer obsessed. Like I love to have like good relationship with my clients, as well as colleagues and everybody that actually works around me and for me. So I would say something else too, other than customer obsessed, is passion. So I definitely put passion, and I work harder than everyone, and I put effort on, for example, like this industry. I really try to just learn and educate myself on, what alternatives is about, what they do, the different firms that actually, are involved or part of this whole process when it comes to investments. So I would say passion and customer obsession to me is like the main thing
For
that can
sure.
it just make me succeed on everything I do. It doesn't matter the industry.
Yeah, right. And I think that kind of goes into like handling relationships well. A lot of people, they're just worried about like the money part of it or just how much money am I going to make or whatever it is. But if you focus on building relationships and worrying about those relationships, then you're going to be such a great value asset to any company out there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. So where did you like grow up? How did you like, where were you born? And then how was like your life as like childhood?
Yeah, so actually, I'm Dominican. I was born and raised in the Dominican Republic. I mean, you can tell by my accent too. So I'm Dominican. I was born and raised over there. I came to the US during my senior year in high school. No English,
Oh, wow.
not
Yeah.
at all. And then right after that, I jumped into college to make it even worse, more complicated with no
Mm-hmm.
English, definitely. So, but I would say pushed myself to the limit, to make sure that I was part, like, even though I didn't know any English or anything, that I tried harder than everybody else to, make sure I was part of I was always like on the dean's list
Mm-hmm.
and all these things. I was like, just the language for me was not an issue as long as I was trying my best
For
on,
sure. That's all.
doing good in college and everything.
Hmm. Yeah, how would you say, like, culturally, how would you say it's different between the Dominican Republic versus here? Like, what was the biggest cultural shock to you?
I would say that I never felt like I was different.
Hmm.
And that's something, that is really shocking when you come from a different country. I mean, I would say a third world country too. Then coming here and just seeing all this diversity and all these people coming from different places. It's just a little shocking, and just I had to learn also how to, build this relationship with different people, trying to accommodate, understand other people's culture as well, different from my own.
Yeah, for sure. So, a lot of people think about, different parts of the world. In reality, we're all still humans, though, right? And I think a lot of people like lose that aspect whenever they think of different countries or different areas of the world. Yeah, it might be culturally a little bit different, but at the basis of everything, we're all still humans. We're all still trying to figure it out. And most
Exactly.
humans still care about other humans. So I think it's a good thing to focus more on that than what is different.
Exactly. Yes. Mhm.
So, coming here, what did you do? You said you had a business and you were kind of was it in the beauty industry?
No, so it was actually, so I mean, I've done so many things. I've done all the way from like talent on the talent side.
Hmm.
I did belly dancing. I used to be a fashion model too back in the days. So I've done a little bit of everything. So I actually, when I moved to New York, as being a model, I was really exposed to different, I would say, the fashion industry, different events and so on. So I started a business when I was like around 20, working for restaurants and nightclubs, kind of like promoting and doing like, bringing together all those like places, nightlife and hospitality alongside with the fashion industry as well. So yeah, I started that business when I was 20, right? COVID hit, so everything changed. But I would say it was great. It was a great experience.
For sure. Yeah. What was something that you learned through like building that business or even in general just starting something that you wouldn't have learned if you didn't actually do it and actually experience it?
I would say that if I didn't try, I didn't know, what I was capable of.
Right.
So it was really like out of nowhere. It just happened. I would say just since I had the connections to, and I knew so many people, it definitely helped them building that business from scratch. And I would just say just taking the risk. I was always like comfortable in my own bubble. And if I didn't take that step forward, I would say I was like, okay, if you get out of that, if you stop blocking yourself, you can definitely achieve so many things that you didn't know you're able to accomplish.
Yeah, for sure. You see that all the time. People are always talking about how they could be doing something or they want to do something, but they never take the action. What would be like what was the big step for you? Was it more of just like, okay, I'm going to set up my branding? Am I going to set up my business plan? Or am I going to start talking to people about it? What was it for you that really like said, okay, now I'm actually doing this?
I would say, I don't know, like I mentioned before, I'm super like I'm all about
For
relationships.
sure.
So just definitely just kind of like building those relationships and actually because I know other people in the industry as well. So I was like supporting other friends doing the same thing. And I was just like, I got to the point where I was like, but I can build this myself.
Hmm.
Just take advantage or, just build my business of my own when it comes to this things. So that definitely pushed me to, okay, this is not as hard as it looks. It might be risky, it might be complicated, but I put my whole, I even have this picture of me at 4 a.m. just like sleeping with my computer on my lap because I really pushed myself and, tried to make sure everything was, there's always some issues and things that come along the way, but just making sure that everything worked and, that I got the correct connections and foundation for it.
That's awesome. Yeah, you see a lot of people they want to start their business, but they look at they look at successful business people or they look at like businesses that have done the hard work and they're like in the spotlight now, but they don't
Mhm.
realize how much work it actually took to get there. You hear that all the time. What is what were some like let's say like daily habits that helped you whenever it came to either building business or even doing what you're doing right now? What are some of those daily habits that you do right now that help you be more successful, whether it's work life balance or, whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, I would say personally, like right now, I do have I wish I knew this before when I was a teenager or younger. I feel like when I started working on myself, my mental health, my emotional health too, everything just started flowing the way it's supposed to. So definitely I would say I'm a huge believer. For me, God is my number one, my right hand. So I have a lot of faith on, on God, and that, with his support, I'm able to do anything I can do. So the first thing I do in the morning, I wake up, I do a prayer. I have my Good Morning Virgie playlist too, that kind of like bumps my energy. And that definitely, I just feel like, and when I'm on my way to work, all you see, I mean, you can hear it in my in my mind. It's just like, thank you, God. This is a new day. I'm alive. I mean, last year, I don't want to get too emotional, but I lost my brother. He died in a car accident. So just like that little, being thankful for being alive, being thankful for the job that I have, for having a house, having food in my fridge. I think that definitely just changes your perspective when it comes to work or anything in life.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, sorry if this pulls any heartstrings or anything, but I'd love to talk to you a little bit about it. In this time of your life when something bad happens, a lot of people go through this. My main thing that I say is, you're not alone in this. You have other people around you, even though you may not see it at the moment. Um, but just know that you're not alone in this situation. What would you say is something that helped you get through this time? Because obviously it's not a time of glee and happiness. So what made you kind of come over that hump of like sorrow in a sense?
Yeah, I mean, I would say having the right people around you is definitely important. So I'm really more about quality than quantity on everything when it comes to family, when it comes to friends. So I definitely think, I just took a break after all this happened. I deleted all my social media. I kind of like, it was a lot. So I definitely just went through the whole stages of, the pain, and then kind of like accepting, that it actually happened. And but I would say just having the right people around you definitely helps. Trying to I love to read too, so trying to read books that help you to, just kind of like notice that it's good to accept it, but life continues. You need to move on. And one thing that really helped me, I feel like my brother specifically, he's like my angel, that he wouldn't like to see me in pain,
For sure.
so really it just got into my head. He wants me to be happy. He wants me to be, having my dream job. So I just continue having the mindset of like, he wants me, in a good position, instead of just suffering through a long time, and going through all this pain.
For sure. Yeah. You said, yeah, obviously talking about your brother. It sounds like he was a pretty big mentor in your life, someone that was very close to you. Did you have any other mentors as well? And what were some of those things that they taught you that really stuck with you?
Yeah, I mean, I do have like different mentors for different things, of course. I would say when it comes to life, my parents definitely. My mom, I grew up with my mom and my older brother. So I had two brothers. And, she was a single mom. So when it comes to life lessons, definitely my mom and my dad, who was always, even though he lived here my whole life, he was always present, and, really, I think, impact my life. When it comes to academic mentorship. I do have somebody, she's Dominican, Michelle, who really, she used to work Morgan Stanley, and she really just pushed me out there. And it was just for me also a wake up call. Like, she's Dominican, she succeeded in the US and corporate America. Why I cannot do it? And then, like, when it comes to work, my manager, I'm so thankful that I had so many good managers along, throughout my whole career. Charles Sepulveda from Citibank, then Emilian Dantani from Interperforms. And then my current job, Preqin, I do have Mike and Fernanda, who are truly, they help me and push me to become better in everything I do.
That's all. That's amazing. I mean, I love that you say that. You found someone that was like almost in your shoes or has almost like the similar story as you, and that's almost like the point of this foundation is we're trying to inspire people by showing them that other people have been in your shoes, other people are where you're from, and other
Mhm.
people have a similar story to you. So if they can do it, why can't you?
Exactly.
I love that you say that, and it seems like you have a lot of mentors as you went through the stages of your life.
Mhm.
How did you find these people, and what was so beneficial for you? Like, how did you find these people and ask them for help? Because a lot of people, they have that like a big ego, or in a sense they feel like they know everything or they want to know everything. What helped you find these people and receive the help from them?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I get which is okay and not okay. I get super personal with my bosses.
Hmm.
So whenever I have a manager, I think, I'm somebody who I don't keep anything for myself. Like, for example, like, so I'm divorced too. I mean, I have so many things along the way, but I'm divorced too. So just kind of like being open to my managers. Hey, I'm going through this. So I get the right support, and they put themselves on my shoes too. And, just being understanding everything, all these different stages and different obstacles along the way throughout my whole life. And I would say just God put me in the right place, in the right path to meet these people as well, that they have helped me to become the person that I am today.
That's awesome. So you're humanizing yourself. You know, a lot of people they go through life, but they don't want to be human in a sense. They don't want to be imperfect. I
Yeah,
can't stress enough, and how many people, like the more the people that I talk about this with, especially successful people, everyone says the same thing. You know, you don't have to know everything. You don't even want to know everything, because the second you feel like you do, you stop learning, you stop growing.
yeah.
Um, so I mean, I think that's amazing that you talk about that. You know, the more personal you get, the more that you can learn from the other person, because the more that you guys intersect your guys' lives. And I think that goes back to nurturing those relationships, you know, building those real relationships. I mean, I can't talk about how many times I've been in, like, I've had acquaintances with people, but we didn't really even know each other, you know? And I think it ties back a little bit to myself as well, not wanting to be that human, but more just trying to be someone that someone else can either look up to, or knows everything. But the second that you humanize yourself and connect with them, you one get more connected, you're more relatable, and then now you guys can start learning from each other.
Yeah, because I mean, I would say all these successful people too, you just see the other face of the story, but they probably went through the same thing that you went through. So, that really just helps you and gives you maybe advices and stuff that will help you as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Talking about, I kind of just want to shift subjects here as well. Talking about just hobbies, like what do you do that you like to experience that harmony, in a sense that I would like to call it, of, you know, you have your work, but you also have your personal life, you also have your leisure, your fun. What are some of those things that you do to kind of take the weight off?
So yeah, I mean, I live in New York, so I think I'm so honored to live close to Central Park.
Hmm.
I'm a super nature person, so just I mean, you see me all the time now during the summer, just having picnics with my girls and stuff like that. So just kind of like taking a little break from work, and maybe if I'm learning something, just taking a break, I would say would be great. I'm somebody who I evaluate a lot, just the small things of the little moments, so it can be anything. I think I can even like go for a walk in Soho and just kind of like feel the experience, or be like, okay, like you're here. Like, even I would never, back in the days in the Dominican Republic, being 12 years old, I would never imagine that I would be enjoying the things that I'm enjoying today too.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So being present, I know like a lot of people like to say that, but I feel like we're so out of the present time. You know, everyone is,
Yeah,
they're doing, if they even see something in front of them, they're taking a picture of it. They're not experiencing it themselves, you know?
exactly.
Um, Talking a little bit about that as well. You know, I see that you have a pretty good brand and a pretty strong like presence on social media. What are some things that you would tell other people trying to grow their brand, like to either stay away from or watch out or not worry too much about, just to kind of help them with their mental health?
Yeah, I mean, I would say just be yourself. I think that's my main thing. You see all different things on social media because I don't pretend to be somebody that I'm not, you
Right.
know? So just be yourself, be human as well. Like, I feel some of my followers, for example, on my Instagram, they randomly just ask me like, "Hey, where you get those shoes?" So I promote different things too on my social media as well, trying to help people that I know, or even if I don't know you and I know the product is really good, I just push just kind of like share any products or anything. But just being, I would say, not having an ego really helped me to be, having people approach to me and ask or talk about different things, even for example, like about my brother and many other losses, like my grandma loss that really, hit me really hard. People just coming to me, being able to feel being comfortable, on asking or, telling me their stories and so on.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. I think that's super insightful. Going back a little bit to talking about how you got this job as well, and kind of getting into this area. What are some things that you felt like helped you, pass the interviews and get accepted into the job, and then what has helped you grow within the job as well?
Yes, I mean, my main thing, I would say my number one is that I speak Spanish.
Yeah, true.
Because my job, so I currently cover the Latin Americans region. So it really, I would say that was my number one. And then I just, I don't know. I mean, it depends. I just, like I mentioned before, I think life puts you in the right place at the right time. Like I have so much in common with my interviewers as well. Like my manager, Mike, he graduated from the same college that I
Wow.
graduated. So just like coming, bringing together all these different experiences definitely helped me. But I think it's also, I think they also saw that even though this was a different industry, they saw my past experiences, and I think they believed in me, and I'm glad they did because I think we're working on so many great things together to work for the Latin American region in at Preqin right now.
Oh, I mean, that's a great thing. Talking about, knowing different languages and all that. I feel like, of course, if you're born in the Dominican Republic, that's something that you're just gonna learn off the bat. But I think that's
Yeah.
something that a lot of people don't realize, that that's a skill. That's something that you're adding to your arsenal of who you are. And I
Yes.
don't think people work on themselves enough, not necessarily just mentally, but also all of the skills that you can have. If you spend a lot of your time working on yourself, that's just a better tool for people to use to gain value, and it's just more value that you can add to people. So I think that's something that a lot of people should be working on if they're not in the space that they want to.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I would like to talk about your past a little bit more. You said that your dad was here in the United States. You said your entire life.
Yes, he came here like 2 months before I was born.
Oh wow. So I'm guessing that you're living in a split household.
Yes, I was.
So
Mhm.
talking about that, I know my parents were divorced when I was super young as well, and there were some things that I've learned throughout, having to deal with that. What are some things that you learned from that someone else living in that situation can learn from you?
Um, I would say just accept the reality was my first thing, like of course when I was a little girl, I used to be missing my dad and wanting him to be there. So many special moments, I would say, throughout my life. But this is life. I mean, that's what I had to go through in life. Just do not lock yourself into seeing the negative.
Right.
Instead of seeing the negative, I just try to see the positive on that side, like how strong my mom was, being able to, as a single mom, to just raise me and my brother who lives in LA right now, to be such, incredible adults right now and great human beings, just not letting that, what I would say, problem or issue a little bit come into your head, and just
Right.
try to see the good side. Like I never saw my dad as, oh, you were not, close to me my whole life. No, he was going through his own things and problems here in the US as well. So I just appreciate all the effort that he always, he also did support me emotionally and financially also when I was living in the DR. So just try to see the positive in everything.
Yeah, I can definitely tell that, with you and a lot of the people that I like to be around, you kind of get some of the similar attributes, and one of them is like that gratitude. A
Yes.
lot of people in this life, it's so easy for people to just point out the negatives, and it's very hard to point out the positives and be grateful for that. So I feel like that's something that a lot of people, and then once again, I believe that is a skill, something like doing your daily, gratitude, either journaling or just reminding yourself of what you do have, is something that will kind of lighten that aura that you have, that energy that you do have, which will benefit other people around you, causing those people to want to be around you even more as well. um
Yes.
yeah, I do, once again, thank you for being on. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I do want to ask this. Usually I like to ask this last question is,
Yes.
just if you could talk to yourself, 5, 10, 15 years ago, what is something that you would tell yourself, if you could tell yourself one thing to kind of help you through life?
I think I would, talk to myself and say, work on your mental health. I think, I feel like it was too late for me to notice how being myself and working on myself just helps everything around me.
Mhm.
It helps on my relationships, it helps my career, it helps on everything. So it's kind of like work on yourself. Do not, just be open to, if you have to do therapy, do it. Whatever helps, whatever works for you. And I would say just continue taking risks. If you don't take the risk, I don't think you will see, if you don't get out of that box, you will not see all these great things and great opportunities that you have out there. Just continue trying different things, stay true to yourself, and just keep shining.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on here, Virgie. I really do appreciate it. And we'll talk again soon.
All right, sounds good. It was
Awesome.
great to see you.
Yep, same here. Thank you.